Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our program brought to you by Calhoun's Local, a local restaurant chain serving local food, and that means from local farms. At Calhoun's, you're eating corn from East Tennessee, tomatoes from East Tennessee. Whenever possible, Calhoun's brings in everything from local eggs to local cabbage. Calhoun's, the taste of Tennessee, specifically East Tennessee. Calhoun's, get out there and check them out this week. All right, want to welcome in the next member of today's panel. We have down there Mr. Chuck Cavaleris back with us for, you've been here all 15 years.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for joining us again today, Chuck.
And speaking of local cabbage.
Yes, well, you'd be the local ham. All right, but I'll start with you anyway. This is our hot read segment, so 2 questions, about 2 minutes each for you. Jimmy and Chuck, here's the first one. What can Vol fans expect from the new starting quarterbacks?
The unexpected. I mean, we don't know. I mean, it's the same with both teams. It's been so much about competition at this position. I mean, have you seen or remember a time where that's what it is? I think Dormady is going to play really well. I mean, I really do. I've got confidence in that. I think that to play at the quarterback position very well could determine the outcome of the whole game.
Yeah.
You know?
Jimmy, what do you think?
I think Dormady's going to play well also, and I think you'll see him be efficient in the passing game. I don't know that they'll ask him to do a whole lot, like throwing 25-yard outs, but I do think he'll be efficient in the passing game. And I think, and the other part of that is I don't think Georgia Tech's defense is all that great. So I think that will help the quarterback, and you got John Kelly back there to help take some of the pressure off. I think Dormady will play well. Garantano more is a question mark to me. I do think he'll play some, but I do feel confident in Dormady.
All right, let's see. You love it when I do this. Let's see if we can put up a number now. Actually, it's a list, just a list of the past starting quarterbacks since 2000. A lot of guys here that played and weren't great in that opener. A.J. Suggs, Casey Clausen, Brent Schaefer, Eric Ainge, Rick Clausen, Jonathan Crompton, Nick Stevens, Matt Sims, Tyler Bray, Justin Worley, Nathan Peterman, Josh Dobbs. What would you say? 4 out of those 12 had good first games?
What's your point?
All right, very, very well. My point was first game is usually tough for a new Tennessee starter. All right, good deal. Let me go to Will and Bob here. Last season, Bob Shoop might have asked guys to do a little too much, even as injuries mounted. Now, how much he simplified, that's between him and Butch Jones. They might have simplified more than we thought, more than they said, or they might not have. But when you said yesterday, Will, you said yesterday on our Fox 43 preview, there are 2 ways to play this. And one of them is just, if a guy comes in your area, hit him. How would you handle, especially now that you've got a stressed situation at linebacker, how would you handle this offense if you were Bob Shoop? Would you sit there and count on them to be smart? And would you use your disguises? Would you bring the magic show? Or would you just simplify things?
I have to simplify things for this team. I don't think, especially when you, even though you've taken time to practice and you've had a long time to practice, you obviously couldn't focus your whole preseason on focusing on how to just stop the option. So anytime you play a game like this, you've got to figure out how to teach your guys a lot in a very short amount of time. The way to simplify and ease that up is basically just say, listen, you guys have the dive play. You don't come off the dive play until that guy's on the ground. If he's on the ground, you can then react and go to where the ball is. Defensive ends, every time the quarterback comes your direction, you stick a helmet under his chin. I don't care if he's got the ball or not. You basically just eliminate all options out of that, and you say, we're not going to be caught sitting back here trying to read and mess up that way. We're going to take the reading out of it. You react, you do these things, and we're going to make the offense react to us. Also, here's the other thing. The best possible place you can get it is to the pitch man. Why? It's because that means that's had the most amount of time going to the sidelines and not straight up the field. If the dive guy's getting it or the quarterback's running right in behind the dive guy straight up the middle and they're getting a lot of success there, you're done. You're not going to have a very good day. So you got to take care of that inside to out first. And so that's why I say the only guys that I have reading and I need to make plays are these outside guys like cornerbacks and stuff, and they got to be good coming up on that pitch man. But everybody else, don't read, hit.
Fun question for you then, Bob. Do you agree or completely disagree with this right now?
Well, no, I'll tell you, there is one problem though playing it the way that Will said. You're right. You need to simplify it, and the guys have to take care of their jobs first. But what that does too then is it cuts down on your pursuit. More one-on-one tackling situations for guys who last year didn't tackle very well. So if you take care of my stuff here, that means I'm not worried about that. Well, then that means if
You're leaving it up to that guy, yeah.
And so, but I don't think there is another way to play it though.
Yeah.
I think if you try to get too complicated and too cute too magic-y, I think you'll end up with some of the stuff you had last year.
Go
The
ahead.
quick caveat is you hope Georgia Tech's running backs aren't that good.
Yeah.
And they've
And-
lost some.
and they did
so-
dis-
And
dismiss
their
the-
quarterbacks
Right.
can't handle a center snap and things like that.
Yeah, you're left open that. Let me also put up some actual numbers here. Just a reminder, this isn't good. Running on Bob Shoop, all right? In 2016, 8 of Tennessee's opponents ran for 180 yards or more. In 2015, when he was at Penn State, 5 of Penn State's opponents ran for 180 yards or more. That means of the last 26 opponents to go against a Bob Shoop defense, half of them have run for 180 yards or more. Okay, now personnel injuries played a part in that.
Right.
You know, he took over a Penn State team, a defense that wasn't loaded. They'd had their sanctions, et cetera, et cetera. That's still not good in any way, shape,
No.
or form. That's a
Some of those
scary
numbers, Some
number.
of those numbers are huge.
I also
too.
noticed the numbers when he was at Penn State against Army's option
Yeah.
offense, which was about 265 yards per game. But anyway, all right, when we come back, we're going to change that. All 4 of these guys are getting thrown from the set. We're bringing 4 new guys on, and we're going to talk about Tennessee's offensive line and why the Vols are going to win on Monday. Come on back.